Welcome back everyone to another Bitcoin update. So we have had a little bit of a further push up, and like we said in the last video, that isn't really too surprising to see just because we did have liquidity in that 75 to 76,000 range. There is still some liquidity, and obviously upside remains possible for at least till 77 to 80,000 as well. Like we were saying in the last video, I mean, what if we just directly go straight up to our target and then we can find a rejection there? I mean, that's always possible as well, and that's something that we do need to look out for. It kind of seems like a lot of this move has been news driven with the Iran and US war as well. So something that we need to look out for is you can only get so much good news that will keep pushing the price up. So each headline you're going to need a better headline every single time in order to push the price up. And at this point, the only best headline, and maybe there's a few other ones that could just push it up a little bit, but the only other headline that would really do a magnificent thing of a direct push up would obviously be something, a catalyst event, whether that is a actual deal that is signed with Iran to end the war. That could be a catalyst, or maybe some just better close to negotiations. You would just have to get better and better headlines each time. So when I'm asked about whether it is, or not asked, but whether I just kind of give my thoughts on it, I'd say at this point, it wouldn't really make more sense to be long than short is what I'm trying to say. At this moment, it usually is a little bit better after a pullback and a little bit of a cool down, and then possibly seeing if buyers get interested within this area as well. Now, that's just kind of something to think about. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed. It could just go straight up without any catalyst. I mean, you just never know, but that's just kind of something to look out for. So we're gonna need, if we want to go in a direct push up, we're probably gonna need some sort of headline or catalyst to come out to push that price up. So that's just something I wanted to share with, but we'll kind of go quickly over our scenarios. So white scenario, first wave up. This is all of a 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move up. And we could, not guaranteed, doesn't need to happen. It's a support zone, not a magnet, but it would look good if we do get a corrective 3-wave move down after a 5-wave move up, because then that would create a larger 1-2 setup in which we could have an impulsive third wave if buyers get interested within this area. Now, if we do break below support at 69,000, there obviously is this lower boundary line as well. That could always work out that way, where we just kind of go here, maybe we break down, bounce off the trend line and form a higher low, and then we can go higher. That's always a possibility as well. So once we kind of break below this swing low here at 65,000, then it kind of keeps this 1-2 setup alive. But obviously the deeper we go, the more just the more and more weight it might add towards maybe a break below the trend line. But obviously that has been good support through the last couple of months, and we very well could bounce from there. It's just something to kind of look for. And obviously once we kind of get to that point, we'll look at indicators, we'll look at RSI, we'll look at divergences, funding rate, all that stuff. It's just something to think about right now. But obviously we're very far away, and we haven't really seen any signs of a sell-off or that we could be going lower. So if we do break below this trend line, our first would be a extended B wave before going higher. And in this yellow scenario, I have, if we do just directly go higher, or whether this was all of the B wave we're in and maybe we just sell off and go lower, the more direct higher we go is, I could always just say all of this is the B wave. For example, this could be all of the B wave. If we just directly go higher, then that could be all of the B wave. If we only form a 3-wave move up, that could be all of the B wave, and we could go lower. That's just something to always think about, that at any moment, this B wave could technically top and we could go lower. We have broke below, or sorry, above by a little bit, I believe, of this swing high over here. So that's just kind of something to look out for. Obviously heavy resistance within this area. Last time we were here, we had a 3-wave or if it was a 5-wave move down, but initially it was a 3-wave move and a 1, 2, 3. So if we do form something like that as a 1, 2, 3, and then we bounce off, that would be totally fine. What we do not want to see is we don't want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move down, because then that could indicate this was some sort of top over here. Unless, of course, we get a catalyst event to push it higher. And in our white scenario, like we were saying, doesn't need to hit the support, but it would look best. Support is between 69,175 to 73,360. And obviously there is a little bit of support down here as well. Our first indication that we could be in, I guess, heading towards this support zone would be, let's see if there's any swing lows we can look for. More than likely, I guess, a break below this swing low here around 73,000. I guess just within this area, break below here would be a good indication that we could be heading towards this support zone as well. Or obviously, I guess once we enter this swing high here, or not swing high, this first support at 73,360. This is the 23% extension, so it's just the very first one I wanted to add. Not a super heavy or big support zone. I'd say main support would start at 71,760 to 69,175. We always have the 78.2 support zone as well, and then the 88%, but I just wanted to add this on as well. So if we head over to the RSI, we were showing on Twitter that there were some divergences starting to form on the hourly chart of the bearish divergence, so not surprising to see this sell off afterwards as well. We had an Ethereum short. I posted not straight away, but Ethereum short, because I saw yesterday Ethereum was getting close to 2,400, I believe it is. Let me double check that price. Ethereum was close to, 2,400. It was getting pretty close to that, and I just saw it was super overbought on the 1 hour, so I just put in a short there, sold this morning, or not this morning, a few hours ago. If I waited, I could have made a little bit more, but like I said, that's the trading game. And on the 4 hour, we also kind of have had this same divergence play out a little bit as well from the 6th of April. And on the daily, I'm sure we're probably, heading a little bit higher as well. So we head over to some of the liquidity. Obviously, you can see there isn't really much left other than this zone up here. We could maybe short term, maybe liquidate some of these late shorts, but here's a zone between 76 to about 78,000. That is a very zone that remains obviously a possibility. You just never know with momentum going up and no break of a swing low or anything. So it definitely remains as a possibility and a scenario that could very well happen. Because what happens is as price goes up, more and more people will short this, and then the more and more shorts that enter, the more and more the price just goes up and liquidate them. And on the daily, or not daily, sorry, 7 day, that doesn't really show too much. 7 day, it's just that same zone, 76 to 77,000. And we have this main zone here that goes back to 73,600. And then we obviously have a smaller zone back here at that 69 to 70,000 range. So it kind of aligns pretty well with our support zone as well. If we head over to the heat map on the 3 day, it's pretty much the same thing that the liquidity is showing us. We have that zone to the upside that is a very real possibility of being hit, but we obviously have more and more short or longs that are starting to pile below the price. And last time we were in a similar situation to this was how we were over here. We were saying back down here, there was there were longs to the downside that there's a decent zone to the downside at that 65,000 or that 65,000 that we said, it doesn't need to get hit. There's a large zone, but then more and more shorts were building up to the upside. So it wasn't surprising to see this move towards the upside. And it's kind of the same scenario that we're in right now. Maybe we have that zone that it is a decent zone above us, but obviously we have large liquidity below us. So it's kind of the same scenario in which we're in over here. It's just the opposite. So what if we just do something like that? Maybe we just chop around here a little bit, maybe go a little bit higher, and then we kind of fall to liquidate these, and then we could possibly head higher in that 1-2 setup. So it's just something to kind of look for. Remember how bearish things were down here, the Iran-US war, there's no good things, and now up here it's all bullish. Oh, we're back. Oh, a deal's going to be coming soon. I mean, like I said, same thing I said down here, there's only so much bad news you can get before things start to get better, and we saw that play out pretty well over the last couple of days. And then I'm going to say the same thing up here. Things can only get so bullish and so good before they're just not. That doesn't mean that we can't go higher. That doesn't mean we can have a catalyst that will push us up. It's just something to kind of think about. Now, the one thing that I do not like is how negative funding rates are. I mean, you could see we are very negative in funding rate. So not the best thing to see, especially for shorts. And obviously this here, the Coinbase premium is in the green. Typically in the green just shows that there's obviously good momentum, but typically for this bear market, it has showed whenever we hit green in the premium index, we do kind of see some sort of drop afterwards in the short term. It doesn't have to be right away. Like for example here, we went down and then we very well could go up afterwards. So it's just something to kind of think about. Same thing over here. We were starting to hit green. We still went up while we were hitting green, and then we fell. So maybe something we could do similar over here. We're in green. Maybe we just fall a little bit to form a higher low, and then we can possibly go higher. And then on the open interest, we'll go over that. On the 30-minute, yeah, we haven't seen a major drop off or anything, so open interest is still pretty high, something to look out for. And on the funding rate, like I said, we're starting to hit super negative, so not the best thing to see, especially for shorts. You know that there are times where you can be negative in funding and still go down afterwards, but it's just one indicator out of many you can look for. So when you see, like for example here, we were super negative all throughout this run, and then we just kept going higher and higher and higher. As soon as we started to go down a little bit, that is when you saw that downtrend come. So it's pretty cool how that works. And then now that we're going down, now we're seeing it increase again. Now we very well could do something like we did back here, where we were just kind of negative, but this was a catalyst that kind of sent us lower as well. But yeah. So for short term, what we can kind of look out for is really we're in between those two zones. We have this upper area up here, and then for liquidity, and then we obviously have this bottom area down here. Now, doesn't mean we can go a little bit higher. And like I said, at any point, this B wave could always top. So if we just get really bullish and we just have a catalyst that pushes us up, what if that's all the B wave then, and then we just head lower? So just something to kind of look out for. So over the next 24 hours, zone up here, 77, 78,000. That is very possible for liquidity, but obviously we have that zone down here. Like we were saying, things can only get so bullish before a possible headline can come to send it down. So it's just something to kind of think about. Doesn't need to happen. We very well could go higher in the short term. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.